to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today is Tuesday and we are continuing with Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, 14th chapter and verses from 91 onwards. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Maharaj. I'll share my screen again. You can please take over, Hare Krishna.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Eta Sundi Dvijagela Hana Anadita Mishra Jagiya Hoila Paramal Vismita. Being very pleased, the Brahmin left after talking with Jagannath Mishra. And when Jagannath Mishra awakened from his dream, he was very much astonished. Bandhu Bandhavastane Swapna Kahila Dunya Sakala Loka Vishmita Oila. He related the dream to his friends and relatives, and every one of them was very much astonished to hear of it. Lila Sari Gaura Chandra Dine Sita Matara Bandaya Ananda. In this way, Gaur Hari performed his childhood pastimes and day after day increased the pleasure of his parents. Kattadina Mishra Putera Aite Kadidila Alpadina Dwara Dasa Vala Aksara Sikila. After some days, Jagannath Mishra inaugurated the prime education of his son by performing the Hate Kadi ceremony. Within a few days, the Lord learned all the letters and combinations of letters. The 12 phala, or combinations of letters, are called Repa, or Dana, which is cerebral, Na, Dantava, which is dental, Na, Ma, Ya, Ra, La, Va, Ri, Re, Li, and Li. Hate Kada is the prime educational beginning. At the age of 4 or 5 years old, on an auspicious day called Vidya Ramba, marking the beginning of primary education, there's a ceremony worshipping Lord Vishnu, and after that the teacher gives the child a long chalk pencil. Then, guiding the hand of the student, he instructs him how to write the letters of the alphabet A, A, E, etc. by writing big letters on the floor. When the child is a little advanced in writing, he is given a slate for his primary education, which ends when he learns the two-letter combinations which are called phala, as mentioned above. Om Gyantamidandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami 10th Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivasesa Sunyavadi Astyatya Desatarine Vanchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhuve Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So there are different, some scars are called the rites of passage, where the living entity goes through different stages of purification. The first one is the Garbhadan Samskara, where before uniting husband and wife to perform the ceremony to have a child, there is a Garbhadan Samskara. And that Garbhadan Samskara is done where one follows a certain rules and regulations to purify the womb and to create a mental conception which allows to bring a worthy soul within that womb. Nowadays, people just have sex whenever they want, and therefore sometimes they call in living entities from lower levels, and the child is a terror on earth. As these children, they may come from lower planetary systems or very, very bad karma. So because of that, the whole society is upside down. It's called Varna Sankara, or unwanted population due to not following the samskaras, which is the beginning is Garbhadan Samskara. So in Krishna consciousness, this is primary and essential to bring in a child that is elevated in consciousness. Generally, someone from the heavenly planets who comes down to the earth who still have some karma left to work out, and therefore the child is born in a good family, and he has a good start in life, being in a devotee family. But the opposite is in the West material, where you see the kids today, they're very untrained and very unruly, many of them. And some of them are even really, what we say, vicious. I travel a lot, and I experience children like that. They are just they have no compunction to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and they're just, usually they're late, around 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. In the UK, there was a statistic that by 11 years old, most children who reach the age of 11 years old have tried everything. You name it, they did it. That's the statistic coming from the government. So we have a very, what we say, decayed society that follows no rules and regulations. Here we see Lord Chaitanya, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't need to go through all of this, but his parents, wanting to give him the right start in life, put him in a school, and he learns the alphabets, and there's a ceremony with the teacher, and then if he passes, he is given some slate for education, and he's considered to be a successful student. And there's many other parts to that ritual. So education was very important, especially bringing children to schools nowadays. Uh, I was just with one of my disciples who has a child, and she's Indian, comes from a good family. He does also, the boy. He goes to school. He was about 14 at the time when I spoke to him. I said, "What's it like in school?" He says, "It's horrible." He said, many of the many of the students, they actually attack the teachers, and they go into the bathrooms, they unscrew the toilets, the sinks, and they take them home, or else they sell them. There's drugs in the schools. He said this is typical of education in U.S. schools in many places. Not everyone, but many places, especially in public schools in big cities. And even the children have to go through metal detectors before they enter into the classrooms during the day because they might be carrying guns or knives or some kind of dangerous weapons. So, because there's no education and there's no samskara followed, nobody believes in samskaras, don't even know what a samskara is. But a samskara means a rites of passage. And Garbaldhan is the first one. The second one is the anupras, where the child gets their first grains. For a girl, it's usually at the month of 5 months old. For a boy, it can go all the way up to the 7th month. And then there is the first time the child eats grains. And there's actually a ritual. Oh, well, there's a ceremony, and there's a priest, and there's mantras chanted, and all this is done, and everybody comes. In the life of Narottam Das Thakur, when his parents, who were quite wealthy, they were actually landowners, and they were also king, and not king, but he was a prince in that area. He was ruling a certain area of the villages. He decided to do a samskara for Anapras for his son, who was Narottam Das Thakur eventually. And so they arranged big ceremony. People came from everywhere, and just to be there because the parents were quite, well, we say, aristocratic. They were, they had big positions. They had a lot of influence. They had a lot of friends. So they came, and a ceremony was organized, and it was a big thing. It was like, this is not a small thing, is this? Everyone came to see the child get his first grains and congratulate the parents for performing the ceremony. So when the preparation was performed, and that is like some type of sweet rice, and the priest will be there to offer the sweet rice to the child. And if the priest is engaged in the ceremony, then the father does it. And then the mother holds the child, the father does it. I've done so many of these ceremonies in ISKCON. So when Narottam Das was there, they tried to offer the sweet rice, but he wouldn't take it. He turned his head in different directions, not wanting it at all. Everyone was shocked. My God, this is inauspicious. The child is refusing. And everyone didn't know what to do. And no matter how hard they tried, he wouldn't eat it. He was 1 year old at the time. So what happened was one sadhu there, he says he's not eating it because it's not Mahaprasadam. Make it Mahaprasadam. So they went back, recooked, offered it to the deities, came back, and when they gave it to Narottam, he took it. That's Narottam Das Thakur. He was a Mahapurush even at the time of birth. He was a great soul. Came from the spiritual world to enhance Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement by teaching kirtan in various types of unique styles, which were never done before. So and of course, he's written many songs and also books on pure devotional service. He's one of the acharyas and one of the best and most popular of the acharyas in the line of disciplic succession coming from Krishna himself. So these ceremonies are not some thing you can pass up. And then, of course, first time the child goes to school, we have it here, the educational ceremony. Then when the child is at 12 years old, he gets Upanaya Samskara. He learns the Gayatri Mantra, the first line of the Gayatri Mantra. And there's a whole series of education based on Shastra that's given to the child. And then at 12 years old, he is educated in Shastra, and he's also chanting the first line of Gayatri Mantra. And then, of course, when he meets his spiritual master, so we see this is culture. This is culture. This is education, and this is how to bring up children. Nowadays, people don't know how to bring up children because they think put them in front of a television, and that way that's the best babysitter. And that way I can do my chores at home, and the child's watching television. I give them something to eat sometimes, like that. Or sometimes they send them to these day nurseries where they're there with a bunch of other kids, and they just run around all the time doing all kinds of games like that. So nobody knows how to bring up children. It says actually in the Shastras, it takes a village to bring up a child. Not so easy to raise a child. Mother and father alone are insufficient to give the child what they need as they grow up. Therefore, community is established, and therefore the child gets many mothers, many fathers, many supports from different elderly, respectable persons who care for the child in different ways. And that takes the burden off the parents also. And the child grows up in a more holistic way. Nowadays, it's just get a babysitter, you pay some money, put him in front of the television, make sure he keeps quiet. If he doesn't keep quiet, then you just give him all kinds of sense gratification so he can be pacified. And then the kid grows up, he has no, his IQ drops. It says that when a
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, sometimes your voice is dropping. Now it's better.
The microphone's right next to my mouth. I'm talking as loud as I can talk.
Yes, Maharaj.
I'm sorry about that, but this maybe it's something on your side too for receptivity, because it's always been working every day.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
I don't know. All I can
Hare Krishna. Is it for everyone or I'm facing that?
No, we
Yes,
cannot
Mataji,
hear.
it is for everyone. Maharaj has been
Yes,
told.
it's for everyone, yes.
Okay.
Actually, when Guru Maharaj comes closer to the laptop, his voice does get louder.
my mouth is right next to my microphone.
Problem, it's just network little bit
Yeah.
not so
I
good.
can't, I can't do anything. I can
Yes,
point
Yeah.
out
Maharaj. Please continue. Yeah.
It's just
what
network.
I can do.
Guru Maharaj, when you come closer to the laptop, your voice increases in volume.
How is that possible? Because the microphone is the one that's picking up my voice.
I think it's your laptop is just picking up the voice better because now you're getting closer, we can hear you better.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, maybe there is a dust on the microphone.
Maharaj, please continue. I think the internet is the problem. Hare Krishna. Yes, Maharaj.
No, not audible.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Audible.
Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj.
You could hear me?
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
It's the internet
Yeah.
connection. It's unstable.
Yes, yes.
Right. Internet.
Let me check. Let me check my internet and see. Let me check my internet and see. My internet it shows good. I don't know what to say. Maybe Sri Devi can give the class, and maybe we can start from there.
I think now it's better. Maharaj, you can please continue.
Go back to the text, Eddie.
Yes. Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, go to the next verse.
Okay. Sorry.
Lila 14.91 Kaila Anukrama Iha Vista Richa Yachena Dasa Vindavana. This is a synopsis of the childhood pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, placed herein within chronological order. Davandas Thakur has already elaborately explained these pastimes in his book Chaitanya Bhagavat. Deva A. Lila. Go down to translation. Go to the trans. I have therefore made only a brief sum afraid of repetition, elaborated upon this subject matter. Virupa Raghunath Pade Yare As Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj. You're on mute.
Yeah, open it up for discussion now.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for explaining these verses. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead now. Please turn on your cameras if possible. Sridevi Mataji.
Sri David, where are you?
I'm in New Vrindavan, Maharaj.
When do you get to Columbus?
Today afternoon. Columbus on 15th of June.
Oh, okay. Where do you go from here?
Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
Mataji, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Maharaj, your point about training of the children is well taken, because as I'm also going and seeing so many different places now, by your mercy, I find that parents are very much stressed, very much in anxiety about their own issues, and they're hardly able to pay attention, what to speak of nurturing or emotionally Or spiritually, yes, they take them to programs, etc. But they can hardly really even relate to the child sometimes. And addiction to gadgets is very, very prominent. Very prominent. Let's say children won't eat unless you put the cartoon. Children won't study unless they have the cell phone next to them. All these kind of things are going on. So in this atmosphere, urgency for farm communities becomes very obvious, because this generation of children is, just yesterday I spoke to a school teacher. I have recorded her testimony. She says when she began her career 10 years ago, one child in 10 had autism. Now it is 4 to 5 out of 10 having autism. And she says it is all due to this electromagnetic radiation, cell phone addiction, and red meat. This is one of the largest school districts in Canada. And she was telling me even parents are giving cell phones to the children because they are at their wits' end and they don't know what else to do to keep the kids quiet.
Yeah, kill your kid. That's what they're doing. They're killing themselves and they're killing each other. The society is really dysfunctional. That's why back to the farms. That's what Prabhupada is saying. This society will collapse. And all of the sicknesses that are going on in society now are just indications of a very deficient culture. Not only in America, it's in Europe also. So Prabhupada said, Western civilization will collapse. Therefore, build these farms back to the land, grow your own food, educate your own children, establish Varnashram, simple living, close to nature, healthy lifestyle, free from all of the gadgets that are, bombarding people's life. And children, they hear their friends got some gadget, and then they harass their parents. They want one too. The parents are never left alone until the child gets what it wants. So yeah, even good kids are being influenced by all of this. And autism is due to EMF. That's a fact. And then I've read reports on it too, and it's directly connected with EMF. And the adults are also getting affected, but in different ways. They get cancer. Yeah. So we have to understand the way we live is not human culture. It's not. It doesn't even come close. Just because we have big cars and big houses and big balances, does that mean that's a civilized society? Not. Civilization is morality, civility, proper education, trust and care amongst people within the family and within this society. None of that is there. People in India, they come to the West, they think they're going to come into heaven. I was talking to one gentleman last night in the program I was at. He said, everything, I came here for a different lifestyle, but I see it's just horrible. He was a very nice person too. He was trying to be very sweet about describing his horrible experiences after coming to America. So yeah, we want to continue to live like this and be victimized by all of the radiations and all of the bad foods. Food is bad. The education schools are horrible. The kids don't get anything they need for education. The teachers are only babysitters, that's all. They can't really give them any education. Anyway, I don't want to get on a diatribe about this. But yeah, you made a nice point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Dear devotees, any questions?
And the UK is one of the worst countries right now. So those, I know many of you who are online now are coming from the UK. It's not good there. Mhm.
So, Maharaj, as you were saying about the parents getting trained, so at what stage the parents should get trained? Because I just met an expectant mother. I was thinking like this will be her firstborn. So what kind of advice or what kind of training they can get how to raise the kids, and because they don't listen to their own parents.
Take them out of school and homeschool them.
Mm,
The United States is good in that way. They allow homeschooling. You can do that.
Mm.
Other countries in Europe, they don't allow homeschooling because it still has the communist influence in the school systems. But in the U.S., you can homeschool your child. There's books on how to do it. There's devotees who are mothers who have authored different books. Krishna Nandini is one. Aruda, she is the person who started homeschooling in America back 30 years ago or more, amongst our children anyway. And then they can go to higher education in the public schools. But for primary education, keep them home.
Mm.
There's another family in Richmond, Virginia. They're homeschooling also. And the mothers, they don't have to work. They can take care of their children at home. To take care of a child is a big responsibility. And the parents can be with the children, and the children can really develop love for their parents and get good guidance and good care from their parents. And the parents, especially the mother, not the father, the mother, she gets education also. Well, she's teaching her children Vaishnava education, along with some basic general education, which is required in order to get a diploma. You can get a diploma outside of the public schools if you follow the protocol. There is curriculums that are designed for that. Take them out of school. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, modern education is a slaughterhouse. It destroys all the good qualities of the living entity. That's Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying that, not me. And that was 100 years ago. Look at it now.
Yeah.
Schools are horrible. The kids, they do everything. They take drugs, they have sex, they do everything. The UK is leading the world in perversion for young kids. It's the highest. These are statistics coming out not from Hare Krishna, but from the secular society. It's a crisis in the world now, a big crisis. And war is looming everywhere. When the crisis gets so bad, in order to fix the crisis, they have war, just to decrease the population and reorient people towards a particular way of solving problems. Well, they see war as a solution for all the problems. This is the Machiavellian philosophy. This is Machiavellian. He was a great philosopher, and he said, if you want to have peace at home, you have to have an enemy outside, so you can mobilize people at home in a unified way against the enemy outside. So you have to create an enemy. the war is actually necessary. These are philosophers that people read in schools and learn from. That's Machiavelli. He was an Italian philosopher. So don't send your kids to school. Your children, Srimati, are grown up. They can go for higher education. They're okay now. Somehow they didn't get too much polluted by their education. But not every children is fortunate.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
Because you lived in India for a long time anyway. I'm talking to Indian people now when I travel. Many of them are talking about going back to India.
Yes, Maharaj.
Not just some, many.
So, devotee kids, devotee family kids are going to the programs and getting Krishna consciousness, but still they are influenced by this outside world. So, will the Krishna consciousness protect him even though they deviate from Krishna consciousness in future?
Sri Devi can answer that question. She just dealt with a situation in Farmington Hills. Without mentioning names, describe what the situation was.
Yeah, this is of great concern to me, Maharaj, because our children are surrounded by the prevailing culture, which is completely against Krishna consciousness. Completely. There's everything out there. One of our devotee girls, she told me kids as young as 7 and 8 are doing vaping. I said, what is vaping? She says, buying cigarettes. It's some form of cigarettes. I haven't even heard of it. I said, how can a 7-year-old get it? She said, they go into the shops and they say, I'm buying it for my mom and dad. I said, how is that possible? The age of buying cigarettes is 18. How can they do that? Saying they're getting it. Somehow they're getting it. And these are devotee kids. These are devotee kids. Another kid, wonderful parents, herself a very sweet devotee. She's addicted to stuff on YouTube. Her mother is distraught, beside herself. They're trying their level best to wean that kid away from, this addiction. Every chance she gets, she sneaks off to watch something, even though she has homework, she has tests, she has many other occupations. And this is a beautiful child in Krishna consciousness, very gifted, very talented, learning music and so many things. But the vitiated atmosphere is sucking our children into this jaws of Kali Yuga. I'm very concerned about the future of our movement, to be honest with you, Maharaj. Very concerned because children are getting destroyed by this Kali Yuga.
That's why I say homeschooling, farm communities. Unless we do something to pull back from the association of this society, this will continue to proliferate. Really bad. And I was at a program about a few days ago. This was in Dallas, when I was in Dallas just last week. At the end of the program, they served out prasadam. You were there, Srimati. The kids were so wild. I had to leave the house and just to have a conversation with somebody, and nobody was taking care of the kids. They were just so wild. And I've seen it many times. They're not, because of their association outside, when they bring all of these bad habits back into the family. And they think it's normal because all the other kids do the same thing. So because of the association they're exposed to, because children between the age of 6 and 14, particularly 6 and 14, they develop their mode of life. They learn what will be the basic principles of how they will live their life. This is the most impressionable time for the child. Therefore, Chanakya Pandit says, parents have to be very, very careful and monitor their children's activities completely, until they reach the age of about 14 and 15. And then they can give them a little more freedom, but not before. But the children don't listen to their parents, and the parents are too lenient in dealing with the children. This is my experience. I think Sridevi is getting the same experiences also.
Even if the parents want to be strict, Maharaj, the kids are so headstrong, so rebellious, and so, persuaded by the peer pressure that they believe they have the right to stay up late, do whatever they want, watch television. I had an experience 11:30 in the night. We're all trying to sleep, and one young boy, 12 years old, comes inside. He's the lady's son with a laptop, and he and a little girl, also 12 years old, they're sitting in the corner and they're watching a movie. I said, this is the time when we are all going to sleep. No, we want to watch a movie. I said, then get me into another room because I can't sleep like this. Then the mother said, no, let me handle this. And she sent the kid and the little girl out. I said, does the little girl's parents know she's here 11:30 in the night watching a movie? Yes. And it's okay. They go out into the lobby. I said, you can watch the movie outside. Whole night they have stayed outside the room. I said, where did he sleep? He slept on the couch. He didn't come back to the room at all. Sadhu Sangha experience.
This is one of many examples.
And the mother was annoyed with me because she said, we must see to the care of our teenage children. Their comfort and happiness is important too. I understand your needs, Mataji, you're an older lady, but what about them? If he had been in the room, at least I could have kept an eye on him and insisted that he sleep at 1 o'clock.
We just finished this chapter with Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya's father was seeing that Lord Chaitanya was not behaving properly as a child. And so he was very strict. He actually took a stick, didn't hit him, but threatened him. And so this is an example. Even the father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead disciplines the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when he sees in a dream, a yogi tells him, your son is God. You shouldn't do that. He said, this is my duty. I have to take care of my. So he's teaching what it means to be a responsible parent. So yeah, discipline means you get something from that. Now, if you let them do, I don't want to make any names, but when I was preaching years ago, this was more like 30, 40 years ago, I was in one particular temple. Nice family, Indian family, all Punjabis, and little girl there, and she was doing she was a nice girl. She was doing anything I want, but she later on she developed some depression. And I said to the parent, how come? She's so young. How could she get depression? He says, I don't know. I always let her do everything she wanted to do. I don't understand. I said, did you discipline? He said, I don't believe in that. You should let the child's nature develop naturally. So I don't believe in discipline. And that girl almost committed suicide. Fortunately, she was saved by myself and one other person who I won't mention names because I don't want to implicate the girl. Right now, this girl is actually a very wonderful Vaishnav, and she does service. And she also has a wonderful family now. Only not because of her parents, because of myself and one other person who took care of her in her depression state and helped her get over this mood of wanting to commit suicide. It was really difficult. I had to live at the house. denied it. I was just a small part of it. So yeah, this was an example of a parent thought, yeah, let them do whatever they want. They're children. They have a nice. They have a childlike nature. Let them express their childlike nature. Yeah, but that led to depression and almost that child almost lost their life. One other, she was there. It was the three of us spending time with her at different times throughout these struggle years. But she came through because mostly because of the care she got from the other sannyasi, who was really, I mean, he gave her what she needed to get through it, and it was really good. Okay, yeah, so yeah. So yeah, to let children do anything they want means to allow them to get influenced by bad association. Anyway, we can go on giving so many examples. I'll give you another example. And this is another horrendous. Parents don't even watch their children now. They let them run around outside sometimes without any chaperone or any care. 2023 statistics come from the United Nations, which is situated in New York, from the representative of the United Nations, the spokesman. He's the United Nations.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Cars, and they pick up stray children and throw them in, and they bring them to, and they ship them to Islamic countries or other places, and they become concubines. They become, and they do everything. They reprogram to act in their own way. It's a big racket. Sometimes they kill the children and drink their blood. These are demons. I'm telling you, these is demons. It's a demoniac cult that's understanding, because the public won't even believe it. They'll think it's somebody's making this whole up there, some conspiracy theory, but actually the evidence is there if you do the research. So yeah, children are not being even cared for by their parents. And how many children don't even get the chance to be born due to abortion? That's another statistic that is ravaging. And so the whole society is dysfunctional, really dysfunctional. So that's why Prabhupada said, you know, our job is to give people spiritual knowledge, education, and a direction in life to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead and teach people what it means to be a devotee of the Lord and how you can live in a way that will facilitate your happiness on a material level and your progress on the spiritual level. Srila Prabhupada came to save the world at the darkest time. Krishna sent him just at the right time when everything was going to hell. And because of Prabhupada, there's a chance, because of Prabhupada, he created this movement. There's a chance that this world can somehow or other get out of this vicious cycle that is killing people left and right. The statistics are alarming. Anyway, So raise your children in a Krishna conscious atmosphere, not in a materialistic atmosphere. And then you'll be happy and the kids will be happy and your work as a parent will be successful.
Thank you, Maharaj. Vrindavanath Prabhu has raised.
Vrindavanath has two wonderful children. They came from the heavenly planets just to purify the UK. His kids are I can't believe them. They're just like angels coming from another realm.
All your blessings, Guru Maharaj. It's all your mercy, seriously. So Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And I know, like, you laugh on this point when somebody says it's all your mercy, and you have that good joke also on that. But I still say that it's all your mercy. And I also wanted to share one thing, in fact, today. See, we say Gyan to Vigyan, like knowledge to realization. And we have heard this several times, this Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoye. And I'm saying this because you had this 2-3 days program in Seattle in last, I think, 2-3 days. And my niece, who is very new in this Krishna consciousness, she and her family.
Charlotte.
Oh, sorry, Charlotte. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And she joined this program in last few days, and she had fortune actually to have your association and felt very, very positive, so inspired about this Krishna conscious journey, which I was asking her from last few years or few months. But just a small association of a real devotee makes a huge difference. And so thank you, Guru Maharaj, for taking trouble really to pass this real knowledge to everybody, and really wanted to convey my this thanks to you.
I was just with her last night. We were talking. Yeah, she likes Krishna consciousness. And she's bringing her kids in that way too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was happy to meet her.
Yes. Children are sometimes Guru Maharaj actually transforming agent. They are the Brahman agent, as many times you have mentioned. Because this child also, or her child, he learned Nrsimhadev prayers and few others prayers and others offering prayers, and he has actually, he's bringing that change. He's saying that, okay, do this way. He's like, sometimes they are not like so much inclined, but so although you were saying children's nowadays like having different, but I think children also can be a different agent to transform their parents if they are having right association.
Yeah, the child is the father of man.
Yes.
That was spoken by Lord Chaitanya also. Same statement. Okay.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Maharaj, there is a question.
I have to catch an airline flight, and I have to leave in a couple hours. So I think I'll have to end here. If you want to carry on the conversation, you can continue amongst yourself, but I need the time to get ready to prepare to leave for this, my next journey.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
So thank you very much. And
thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow. Thank you, dear devotees. See you all tomorrow.
I should be available tomorrow for class. I'll be in New York for 1 week.
Okay. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Humble obeisances to
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Sri Krishna
Thank you so
Chaitanya.
much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Oh, we're missing you already.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I've been missing for last 4 days.
Suma, Haribo.
Krishna Maharaj.
And the bright face Sonal. She makes her screen even brighter. Dheeraj. Haribo.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Tripti, Haribo. Trupti.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Humble obeisances to your lotus feet. Hare
Jadu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Madhu. Who else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, all glories to you.
We have Manas.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. All good.
Manas, we're going to have to get rid of that name, Manas.
So visits to you, Guru Maharaj.
We got Bonnie. Bonnie's been following me around everywhere I go. And it's nice. Actually, I'm following Bonnie around, but it looks like she's following me around.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
She's coming to New York also. And we got, is that Sukavaha?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Haribo. We got Gauri Priya from Moldova.
Hare Krishna.
When people ask, well, where's Moldova? I say, I don't know.
Between Ukraine and Romania.
Okay.
Thank you.
And of course, all of the other devotees. Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Maharaj.
we'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully, for Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Vilasini. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.